everyone, welcome back to the channel of Ecoholics. So today's video is going to be very interesting for all of you. We will be talking about the equilibrium in the market and the price controls working on them. So if you have read the newspapers, you must have read the headlines related to government curbing the price of the medicines, government curbing the price of the food because of the rising inflation. And many times you must have read about the minimum prices you have to give to the producers for a particular commodity. So, what is all that about? That is about price controls. So, today we will understand the concept of equilibrium of the free market and the price controls. Okay, so here on your screens, you can see some of the headlines which have been part of our newspapers recently. All of these are related to the price control. So, either price control on the maximum price or on the minimum price. But why? Why is this concept coming into the place? When the market is already there, why does the government requires to step into and place some control on the prices? Let's just get into the same. When we talk about equilibrium, so what is equilibrium? Equilibrium basically means that when the demand and supply in the economy, so in a very simple words, whenever demand and supply of goods is equal, that is the concept of equilibrium. Now, this can happen that whenever the demand and supply are equal, the price level and the quantity level which we are getting in equilibrium, they are undesirable. They are undesirable. The reason why they can be undesirable is maybe in the equilibrium you're getting high prices, or maybe you are getting low quantity of supply, or anything else also can happen. So, in equilibrium, whatever quantity a customer is demanding at a particular price has to be equal to the quantity a seller is ready to supply. The supplier is basically ready to supply at the ongoing prices. But whenever there comes a fluctuation in what a consumer is demanding or what a supplier wants to sell, there comes a disequilibrium. So, for example, if demand becomes greater than supply, this is the case of excess demand. In this case, the excess demand will increase the prices of the economy. Whereas, if supply is greater than demand, there will be a lot of excess capacity. There are a lot of goods lying in the inventory for which there is no demand. Due to this excess supply, the prices will start falling. So, what we have learned here is that what is equilibrium and how, when you are not in the equilibrium, what happens in the market. Okay, so whenever surplus happens, the quantity supplied at any price is higher than quantity demanded. This is the surplus situation. Whereas whenever demand is greater than supply, shortage happens. Now, in equilibrium as well, because equilibrium can also be attained at higher prices, lower quantities, which can add to the inflation. So, let's take a very simple example. If that is a farm product, the demand of the farm product is same what was there in the last month. But suddenly, due to high rainfall, the production of the same farm product has suffered a lot. Now, the demand is same, but supply has reduced. And that has happened because of natural problems, which are out of our control. So, due to this, even if we talk about equilibrium, equilibrium can still be attained in the market, but because supply has fallen, but demand is same, equilibrium will happen at a higher price. It will happen at a higher price. Now, when equilibrium happens at a higher price, according to law of demand, Higher price means you will demand lower quantity. So the higher price leads to lower quantity demanded, and that is the reason why at higher price the economy is in equilibrium even if the supply was less. Let's just take a look at this diagram here. For example, this was the demand curve, this is my supply curve. So now this is the equilibrium. So at higher prices, again, demand will also be achieved because my quantity demand will also fall at that level. Now, because of this reason, the recent example we took right now, because of this reason, people will be paying high prices. Now, what if that commodity is a necessity? Paying higher prices for the necessity goods will lead to a lot of fluctuation in the budgets of everyone. It is going to cause them into tension, stress, that okay, there is so much inflation, how are we going to afford something? So at these points, even if the market can set up the equilibrium on its own, there is the requirement of the government to step into this picture and put into place some of the price controls. So what happens is, let's just first understand this example. Let's say there is this example, as you can see here, this is the demand curve, this downward sloping is the demand curve, and this is the supply curve. Now, economy is in equilibrium at price P star and quantity Q star. Okay, this is how equilibrium is attained. Now, if for example, the recent thing we took that due to some of the natural reasons, the supply got reduced. So, due to high rainfall, the supply got reduced. So, it means the prices are same, demand is same. At the same prices, supply got reduced. How are we going to show this? This will be shown by shifting the supply curve upward. So, this is the new supply curve. So, which shows that demand curve and supply curve are intersecting at E2, equilibrium 2, where the prices have increased, where the prices have increased and quantity has decreased. So this is how equilibrium gets determined into the economy. But this increase in prices is itself a matter of tension in the economy if it is for the necessity goods. So there comes the help of price control by the government to control this kind of situations. So the first question is, what are price controls? Does the government come to the market and says, no, you're not allowed to charge this amount? No, that never happens. So it's not that every government person will go to the shop to check that whether there is a price control or not. They're not going to ask shopkeeper to sell the product at this price. It happens at a mass level, at a macro level. So how do they do that? Let's see. So price control refers to government imposed restriction on the prices of goods or services in a market. So government does not go to each and every shop to check that, to tell the shopkeeper ki please do not sell it at high price. It happens at macro level. They come, they give the policy kind of thing. Look, so it's not that fiscal policy or monetary policy, but they bring in a change by making an announcement that you are not allowed to sell this product over and above this price. Now, this announcement will be heard by the producers as well as the buyers. So, even if you go to the market, you can clearly tell the shopkeeper that no, government has already said that this product can't be sold over and above this price. So, you can't charge me a higher price. These controls are implemented to influence market outcomes and achieve specific economic or social goals. Now, in the example we took here in this video, we were saying that because it's a necessity good and due to high rainfall, the quantity was decreasing, the price was increasing, which was not good. Now, necessity good, if it is for the social purposes, let's say we talk about medicines. Medicines are required to save people from falling ill, right? They are required at the utmost importance. So, if there happens to be high prices for medicines, a lot of people cannot afford them. and eventually they will fall sick or they will die, which will affect the economic growth of the economy. So there comes the role of the government to come and control. So price controls are of two types: price floors and price ceilings. We will be discussing about both of the price controls. How are they implemented? What results do they bring? What are the problems in these price controls in the part 2 of this video? So, first here, let's talk about why do we need price controls. So there is a separate video part 2 where I have talked about, where I've done these price control, price floor and price ceiling in a very discussed. So there is another video part 2 where I have done a detailed explanation of both the price controls, price floor and price ceiling. But the first question which comes here is why price control? So government, as we have already discussed, that sometimes prices can go very high. So to bring them down, there comes the role of price control. But not only this, many times, so price is not only the amount you pay for purchasing a good. If you are purchasing a service, maybe you are hiring someone to get their service, that is also a purchase. What if you are paying lesser money to them in return for a service? You are paying the price of their service. So there also comes the role of price control. So what if you are paying lesser prices now? You are not paying higher prices. Even if they are the producer of their services, but you are not ready to pay them a high amount. So over there, the government imposes a minimum price to be paid, and when the prices become too high, government gives a maximum price to be charged. So minimum price, maximum price makes the price control. So government do this to manage market outcome when they believe that purely market driven prices may lead to undesirable result. Maybe it will lead to shortage, maybe it will lead to unavailability of some of the goods. Price controls such as price ceilings and price floors are used to address issues like affordability, exploitation, and fairness. Exploitation and fairness are used when the government imposes a minimum price to be paid, and affordability when they say that maximum price to be charged. Okay, so price ceilings. Now, what is ceiling? If I talk about a room, ceiling is the upper roof, this thing. And price floor is the lower, you can say, limit. Okay, so price ceiling is basically the maximum price a producer can charge for his product. So it allows government to control the excessive price charges. Someone cannot charge you unreasonable prices. Whereas when we talk about price floor means that you have to pay this minimum price for a good. You can't exploit the producer. You can't pay them less than what has to be given to them. So these are the two price controls. All right. So this is all about the equilibrium. Why do we need price control? What are price control? Now, in the part 2 of this video, I will be discussing about the price control in a very detailed manner. We will be talking about their consequences, how are they implemented, what results they can bring. So I will see you in the part 2 of this video. Thank you for watching.